dialogue is useful any experience, any situation, because it helps people communicate. It helps people resolve conflicts. It helps people understand each other. And as students in a large university like Clemson, where you'll have the opportunity to work with groups and you'll have the opportunity to work with people one-on-one, especially professors and people who hopefully you'll do research with if you're in, biology or what have you, dialogue plays a very important role. And we are a higher species. We're smarter than any other species on the planet. The second smartest species on Earth is the orangutan. But we have the capacity and knowledge to show concern and empathy, and we can express that through vocalization. And so that's where dialogue comes in. And dialogue is very useful in day-to-day life. um, as of why it's a component of Library 100, well, every freshman who comes into Clemson University, and unfortunately every transfer student who comes into Clemson University, has to take Library 100, and it's a one-time class, and it's a pretty much it's either a pass-fail or a satisfactory, unsatisfactory class, whatever you want to call it, but you cannot retake it. But new student dialogues, that segment of Library 100 is actually very important for new students to take, because most of them have not experienced a college institution, and all they know is their high school, and the teacher pretty much stands up and teaches, and then they write notes down and go home. Well, in college, you get into discussion, you get into debate, you get into roundtable group style leadership and discussion, and it's useful to know about dialogue. It's useful to have dialogue skills. It's useful to have communication skills when dealing with other people. And so for the dialogue component of Library 100 to teach students debate skills and conversational skills and just dialogue skills in general, it's very useful. Let's move on to the next slide. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a cough. The next question is, what would it look like if we approached our conflicts with empathy? Well, empathy is something that every human has. I mean, we're all very empathic or empathetic, however you want to say it. I say empathic, I think it sounds cooler. Very empathetic to other people's ideas and their concerns and their feelings and what they experience. If everyone approached our conflicts with empathy, I feel that we would have less debate, we would have less arguments, we would have less, a lot of debates and a lot of conflicts boil down into a baseline prime instinct to want to fight about something. But as humans, we resolve it mainly with words, and that's good. But if we approached it with empathy, we would all have a I don't know, I'm looking for a word here. We would all have a certain I guess connection with that person that we're having a conflict with, and we would be able to smooth out a conflict easier. Next question: why do you react to the comment, "We show solidarity with our compassion"? No, we don't show solidarity with our compassion. Each person is different. Each person has their own views, their own goals, their own morals, their own values. And when you say that we show solidarity, that pretty much means we have the same views. We have this, we show a unified compassion, and that's not right. We each show compassion in a different way. Next question is it possible that we could extend our empathy to the entire human race? One day, possibly. Yeah, we might be able to do that. It takes everyone being on board, everyone being empathic to each other. There are multiple races out there who are all people, Everyone is a person. Everyone deserves the same rights that each person deserves the same rights as the other. No one is above each other. No one is below each other. We don't live in a hierarchy of classes. It's sad that we separate people into a lower, middle, and higher class. But I had thought we had gotten away from that since the Middle Ages. But we need to try to get away from that. Like I said, we don't need to live in that society. It's not right. But we definitely could extend our empathy to the entire human race. That's very possible. If each person works at it. I mean, look at Nelson Mandela and Mother Teresa. They are those are two wonderful people who one of their goals is extending empathy to the entire human race. And I feel like as humans, we each need to be sensitive, and we need to be understanding of other people's backgrounds, their pasts, their life struggles. When you're having a conflict with someone, you may not necessarily know everything about that person that you're arguing with or you're conflicting with. And so to judge them and to to have a baseline reaction towards them is wrong, and we need to have empathy towards them. I've already said why I think dialogue is a component of Library 100, and now it's time for me to share any additional thoughts or observations as I see fit. I find the fact that I had to take Library 100 to be absolutely ridiculous. I understand that new student dialogue in SD, I understand that new students had to take this class, and I understand that transfer students had to take this class. But I feel like Clemson is not is not looking at each person individually, which is what new student dialogue is all about, and empathy is all about, and conflict is all about. We need to look at each person individually and not single story them in one space. I'm a postgraduate. That means I have a degree from another 4-year institution. I came to Clemson to pursue a second bachelor's. I'm not in grad school, but I'm a postgraduate. I've gone through all of the freshman and the transfer BS at Winthrop University and Rock Hill. I had to do that. I shouldn't have to do it again here. It made me irate when I found out I had to do it. And the people that I've talked to, the people that I have, that I've gone to and I've had conversations about with, people like the woman who ran my library workshop, which I know what a library does. I know how a library functions. The library here functions the same way that the library at Winthrop does. I didn't need to go sit there for an hour and a half, 2 hours to learn about how to search for a JSTOR online article. But I talked to the woman who taught my library workshop, and she had empathy for me that I had to sit through that. I've got a degree from a 4-year institution, and I shouldn't have to sit through this. I shouldn't have had to do this. This is absolute. It's ridiculous. I did it because you have to, and I don't want, an F on my transcript. But yes, I put it off because honestly, I forgot about it. I got extremely busy in my semester with my real work, my real schoolwork. The reason I came to Clemson was to study what I wanted to study, and I forgot about this. I forgot about my Library 100 assignment, and that's just how it is. You give students, you don't meet, students forget about things when they don't meet and discuss them, and when Library 100 doesn't meet and the regular class time, it throws people off, and people do forget, and they get busy in their life. They get busy in their schoolwork.